everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the all-new plastic and very much improved Cato Sicarius. Yes, the captain of the Victrix Guard, no longer leading the second company. It's worth pointing out. So, massive thank you goes to Games Workshop, who sent him to me early to build up and paint with all of you, because that's exactly what we're about to jump in and start doing. So, he's been primed in grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 4 parts Asurmen Blue to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix, and we're just going to apply this over the top of all of the blue, which is all of his armour, or smooth armour I should say. There is a lot of sort of decoration and stuff going on here. But what we're also going to do, for the sake of speed, is we're going to apply this over the top of the field of the banner as well at this point. So with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Ultramarines Blue. And we're going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, we're going to move on to a different colour, which is going to be some Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over top of the gaps in the armour, so the soft joints and things like that. And we're going to apply this over top of the sword sheath. With that all done, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over top of all the leather, including the sort of leathery tabard. And with that all done, we're now going to paint the really confusing cloak. So I can't find any pictures of it, so we are making some educated guesses here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Sigvald Burgundy. We're going to apply this over top of the outside of the cloak. And the reason it's confusing is I'm pretty sure this is like a band of office, and it's going to be white. And I think the burgundy part is all of this. So with our burgundy all applied thusly, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Shyish Purple and Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this over the top of the burgundy, but what we're also going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the leather baterges or tabard going down its front. And with that Shyish Purple mix applied, we're now going to take some Flesh Tearers Red. And we're going to apply this over the top of 3 areas. The first is the rope going across his chest. The second is the band, or the border, going around the banner. And the third is going to be some of the strands of hair on the helmet, and those are in 2 different locations. One comes just next to the, well, they both come just next to the U on either side. Like that. With that Flesh Tearers Red applied, we're then going to take some Dark Angels Green. And we're going to apply this over the 2 sets of laurels. The one here on his tummy, and the other on the banner. And then next up, we're going to take some Guilliman Flesh. I'm going to apply this over the top of his face. For our next colour, we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over the top of that sort of parchment nameplate here on the banner. And with that Skeleton Horde all applied, we're then going to take some Tyran Blue. And we're going to apply this over top of all the white details. So this is going to be the other bits of hair stranding on the helmet. Some of the white ultimas, like that one there. And this one here. And of course, the cloak. And with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. And we're going to apply this over, well, almost all of our remaining details. The only things we're not going to be doing are the sort of trimmy bits on the pistol holster, the handle of the pistol, the sword blade, and the chain, banner pole, and the mechanical areas of the backpack. And with all of that Retributor Armour applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that silver all applied, it's now time to add some shades. The first of which is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. I'm going to apply this over the top of all the gold. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. I'm going to apply this over top of the silver. And with those shades applied, Sicarius is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, we're of course not going to leave him there. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now we're going to start off with those layers. And the first one is going to be some thinned down Macragge Blue. We're going to thin it down with roughly 4 or 5 parts water to make this lovely blue glaze that we're just going to use to smooth out any mistakes we might have, but also just to kind of re-enrich the colour. Just like this. So with that glaze applied, we're now going to highlight all the blue. I'm going to use some thinned down Calgar Blue to do exactly that. With that Calgar Blue all applied, we then take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey, and we use this to pick out things like the rivets and the sharpest corners in all of that blue. So with our blue now all finished, what we're going to do is move on to the white. I'm going to take some thinned down Corax White, and we're going to use this to relayer all of our white details. Now for some of our white details, things are quite small, so stuff like the hairs on the helmet, the tassel of the hem, I should say, of the banner. So this isn't really going to be a highlight for them, not a relay. This isn't really going to be a relay for those. It's going to be more of a highlight. So it's kind of, well, that's a little bit of a mixture really, of a highlight and a relay. So with that Corax White all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down white scar. I'm going to use this to now highlight all of those white details. So with that all done to all of the white, we're now going to move on. And we're going to take some thinned down Bloodreaver Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight the leather. Next up, we're going to take some thinned down Screamer Pink. I'm going to use this to highlight the outside of the cloak. With that Screamer Pink all applied, we'll then take some thinned down Pink Horror. And we use this to add some little spot highlights. With that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Straken Green. We're going to use this to highlight those 2 green laurels. With that Straken Green all applied, we then take some thinned down Squig Orange. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our red. So with that now done, we're going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight his face. With that Flayed One Flesh applied, we then take a tiny amount of Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of the service studs, on his forehead, and over the top of his eyeballs. With that all done, we then take a teensy tiny little dot of Screaming Skull, and we're going to apply this in the corners of his eyeballs. Just like that sort of thing. And we're also going to use the Screaming Skull to highlight the bit of parchment. With that Screaming Skull all applied, we then take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight the black details, and this is basically mostly just the hair. And with that Dawnstone all applied, we then take the tiniest little bit of Administratum Grey. We use this just to add some little spot highlights. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. And with that Ironbreaker all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all the gold. And with all of that done, we've just got one thing left to do on Sicarius, which is to take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we're going to apply this over the top of all the gems. And with his base now done in exactly the same style as we did Marnius Calgar's base, Cato Sicarius is now finished. And, well, he's had quite the glow up. It's a much nicer version of the model. I really like it, I think. I think it's a nice rendition of the character, and it's cool to have him in really tall plastic. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much left for the Ultramarines now. Maybe Cassius someday? If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.